What is going on, guys? Predator458 here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am so very excited. As you can see, we've left behind the battlefields of the Second World War, and instead we're going to trade them for the racetrack in Assetto Corsa. Now I am really excited because yesterday, the 4th of March, Kunos, who are the developers, officially announced the release date and pre-order price of the first DLC pack that will be coming to the game. It's called the Dream Pack, and with it you get 10 cars and 1 track. Now it comes out on the 11th of March, I believe, and will set you back $10 US if you pre-order it, which is 33% off of what the final price will be. Now there's some pretty cool cars coming with that. Some of the ones I'm excited about are the McLaren F1 GTR, the McLaren P1, the Alfa Romeo 4C, and the Nissan GTR Nismo race car. I forget what the entire official name for it is, but that will be coming out, as I said, on the 11th. But more exciting than any of the cars for me is the official laser scanned version of the Nurburgring Nordschleife. So in honor of this, I thought we'd do a little look at the game, talk about how it's coming along, how it stands right now, and because there's a laser scanned version coming out, we will take the car of our choice out onto a community-made mod of the Nurburgring, which was made by Snoopy. It's been out for quite some time. I'll put a link in the description below to the download link in case you're new to the game or somehow have missed it. And my car of choice will be the Mazda 787b, which is another community-made car. So let's have a quick look at it. 900 kgs, 690 horsepower, 607 newton meters of torque with a top speed of over 300 kilometers an hour, which is very exciting. So yeah, we're going to take this out onto the Nürburgring and we'll see how it goes. Let's just check everything is all good. Now, before we get started, I'd just like to say quickly that it's been quite some time since I played Assetto Corsa. And on top of that, I haven't driven the Nordschleife probably since, oh God, November last year maybe, and I've never taken the Mazda out onto the Nürburgring. So there might be a few mistakes, but you know, this is just a little showcase video and just to talk about a few things. So anyways, I'm going to hit the big start button and I'll see you when we're on the track. Alright guys, welcome to the Nurburgring Nordschleife and the Mazda 787b. I quickly actually changed and decided to take this out in a hot lap instead of the free practice mode, simply because in free practice the lap timer starts counting as soon as you leave the pits, and you've got, what, kilometer or so to go till the actual start finish straight, and then it doesn't actually reset the time. So this way, hopefully as soon as we cross the start finish straight, it will start counting and we can get a proper lap time out of this. I'm not going to push too hard. I'm a bit out of practice, and talking while driving is really difficult. So let's go for it. Right, so I have for a very long time been a big fan of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. I became a really big fan of it in Forza Motorsport 4. Yeah, and there we go, our lap time has reset, brilliant. And I got a very bad case of ring addiction. I used to, oh, hello there. I could spend entire nights just thumping around the ring by myself in my Mazda MT 900S, as I tried to get as far up the worldwide leaderboards as possible. And in fact, I think the best I got was 3rd place in the world out of anywhere between 90 and 100,000 lap times. Now even my 3rd place lap time was about 3 seconds off the pace of the top 2 guys, who were separated by less than half a second. But I could never really get closer than that. But I actually think in Forza around the Nürburgring I covered about 20,000 kilometers around that track, and I know this because that Mosler I pretty much used exclusively on the Nurburgring. I didn't really like the car anywhere else, but if you wanted a competitive lap time, you kind of had to use it. So, you know, when I went to go and look at my stats of the distances covered in that Mosler, that was pretty much exclusively time spent around the Nurburgring. Now, this car has very quickly become one of my favorite cars in the game. I typically haven't enjoyed a lot of the race cars all that much. I'm not particularly fast in them. I'm not sure why. But also, like, you know, I like a car to feel like it's pushing me as well. Like, the faster I go, the faster the car wants to go. And, well, hit the curb a bit much there. And a lot of the race cars, I don't know, they just feel, they don't feel like they're pushing you. And that's obviously not to say they're not challenging. They do feel quite glued to the road, but they're just not challenging, and they don't feel fun enough to me. But this car is an entirely different story. It is incredibly difficult to drive, very twitchy back end, as you have seen a few times. Obviously no ABS, and you know, this is the kind of car that, for me, as you go faster, the car feels like it's pushing you, and kind of itself wants to go faster and faster, which is something that I also got from, a feeling that I also got from the Ferrari 312T, which is Niki Lauda's 1975 Formula One Ferrari, I think. And I've also spent quite a bit of time driving around the Nurburgring in that car. But otherwise, a lot of the time I kind of prefer the road cars. Now, if you did watch my Spitfire Simulator Battle video, you may remember I mentioned in there, talking about, you know, virtual reality and the fact that I'm impatient, and decided to try and build my own. I did consider using it for this video. Went a little bit deep on the brakes there, and now we're in first, which is not going to be good for traction. I did consider using it for this video, but we don't want to go front first. But the visual quality, for my perspective, isn't quite good enough, and nor is the frame rate, so it actually makes it a bit difficult to play with. I definitely am going to keep fiddling and see how it goes. For you guys watching, it wouldn't have made a difference, because obviously the computer's recording what goes onto the screen, and that doesn't change. But the perspective that I'll have using the head-mounted display and the actual display on my cell phone screen is just not quite good enough. Let's go down to third for you. Now, this car and track is good fun to drive, really enjoying it, and it's not too difficult. Thankfully I haven't made any terribly big mistakes. You know, a few wrong gears here and there, but what can you expect? But as for the Dream Pack DLC, really looking forward to that. As I said, you know, there are some cars in there that I'm quite keen for. McLaren F1 GTR and that. But more than anything, I would have happily spent the $10, even if it had just been for a laser scan version of the Nordschleife. And it'll be quite interesting to see how Snoopy's mod that we're driving on now stacks up to the official laser scan version. So I probably won't do any other, you know, Assetto Corsa content until the Dream Pack comes out. I mean, this is my channel's first Assetto Corsa video, and once it comes out and we, you know, screw that up a little bit, I'll do some content on that. I might maybe do like a comparison between the laser scan version and the mod that I'm on now, just to see, you know, the difference in lap times between the two. You know, take the same car out in both, but also the visuals and the driving experience. So it'll be quite cool to see. But quickly, as for my thoughts on Assetto Corsa itself, if you watched my very first video, my channel sort of introduction. By day, I am a motoring journalist for a South African car magazine, so I think that gives me a pretty decent platform to judge like racing simulators on. That doesn't make me a racing driver by any means, nor do I claim otherwise. But we held it, sort of. And here we come round the final corner, and a 6:32. Not bad. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that's well off the pace of what a lot of other guys are doing in this game. And I have no idea what kind of lap time this car could do in the real world. But Assetto Corsa for me is an absolutely brilliant racing simulator. I have tried like iRacing. I didn't really click with it. I didn't like it, and to buy any cars in iRacing is quite expensive. If you're from South Africa and you have to buy in US dollars, it'd be quite pricey. But what I really love about Assetto Corsa is that the feeling of grip. Let's see if we can go flat out 3-hour wheel. Confidence lift, and looks like it's a good thing we did because it wouldn't have quite made it. Maybe my line was a bit wrong on the entry to that corner. But one thing I really do love about this is just like the progression that you get from the grip that the rear wheels have. A lot of racing games, racing simulators, the rear tires, the grip from them kind of seems to be like an on-off switch. You either have it and you got traction as you accelerate out of the corner, or you suddenly lose it and it's all gone, and it's your tires are suddenly made out of ice. What I love about Assetto Corsa is it feels far more progressive than that. You can really get a feeling of the rear tires losing grip and then regaining them. It's not suddenly there, suddenly gone kind of thing that a lot of older racing sims have. But anyways, this video was supposed to be just one lap. Talked a bit much, and we're nearly 2 minutes into the second lap, so I'm going to end the video here. I hope you have enjoyed. And we're off. Oh god. Anyways, I hope you have enjoyed this video. This is Predator 458 signing off, and I will see you guys next time.